Okay, let's dive into something we've all probably felt. But maybe, we're a little hesitant to talk about. And that's finding yourself attracted to someone else, even when you're in a really happy, committed relationship. It can stir up a ton of guilt and confusion, so today, we're going to unpack what's really going on.
So let's just get right to the heart of it, right? The big question that probably brought you here. Is this normal? Is something wrong with me or my relationship if I notice someone attractive? It's a vulnerable thing to ask, and I'm willing to bet it's a question most of us have quietly asked ourselves at some point. And the answer is a big, resounding yes. It is absolutely 100% normal. Look, this isn't some kind of moral failing. It's just biology. Attraction is a really fundamental human response. Your brain is literally wired to notice appealing traits in other people. Things like confidence, a great smile, a sharp sense of humor. Committing to a partner doesn't just flip a switch and turn all of that wiring off. It just doesn't work that way. So, to really wrap our heads around this, we need to draw a super clear line in the sand between two very different concepts. The automatic feeling of attraction and the intentional choice of commitment. Let's break it down. Think of attraction as being automatic, almost like a reflex. It's a biological response. And honestly, most of the time, it's just a fleeting feeling. It comes and then it goes. Commitment, on the other hand, is the total opposite. It's intentional. It is a conscious, deliberate choice that you make day in and day out. The strength of your relationship isn't measured by the absence of these random attractions, but by the conscious choices you and your partner make to prioritize your bond.
Okay, so if the feeling itself isn't the problem, then where's the line, right? That brings us to a really crucial difference. The one between a harmless internal thought and an action that could actually put your relationship at risk.
And I want to be super clear about this. A simple, passing thought, noticing someone is attractive, having a brief little fantasy, is harmless. It's just your brain doing its brain thing. It is not a betrayal. But, and this is a big but, that harmless thought can start to go down a tricky path. It might start by just, entertaining that fantasy over and over again. From there, the risk really grows if that leads to things like hiding texts or secret conversations. And the final step, often, is seeking validation from that other person. That's the path where a simple feeling crosses a line into behavior that starts to chip away at trust.
And you know what this all boils down to? One simple but really powerful word: integrity. In this situation, integrity is simply the choice to act in a way that honors your partner and the commitment you've made together. It's the bridge between feeling something and then deciding what you're going to do about it.
All right, now I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball at you. An idea that might sound totally upside down at first, but it is such a powerful way to reframe this whole thing. What if noticing attraction to other people could actually be a good sign?
Just take a second to let that sink in. It's ironic, right? But think about it. When you can notice an attractive person, acknowledge that little flicker of a feeling, and then just move on without panicking, that shows real security in your relationship. It shows you have a mature understanding that a spark for someone else isn't the same thing as disloyalty. It means you're secure enough to know the difference between just a passing observation and a real threat to what you've built with your partner.
So this all leads us to maybe the most useful part of this whole conversation. See, when these feelings pop up, we often torture ourselves by asking the completely wrong question. Let's talk about how to shift your focus from the unhelpful why to the much more empowering what. So what's the trap? What's that one question most of us ask ourselves that just sends us spiraling into anxiety and guilt? It's this one. Why did I feel this? It seems like a logical question, but trust me, it's a total dead end. You're trying to analyze an automatic, biological response that you don't actually control. It's like asking why you flinched. You're just going to end up going in circles.
So what's the better, more powerful question to ask yourself? The one that puts the control right back where it belongs, with you.
This is the question that changes everything. What do I value more, a momentary spark or the relationship I am committed to? Do you see that shift? You're moving away from analyzing an uncontrollable feeling, and instead, you're affirming your controllable choices and values. It acknowledges the spark is real, sure, but it puts that spark in perspective against something much, much more meaningful. A strong relationship doesn't require you to be less human. It just asks you to be more self-aware and respectful of what you've built. So if you take just one thing away today, let it be this. Feeling attraction is human, period. That's not up for debate. But acting without integrity, well, that is and will always be
a choice. And knowing that difference, that's everything.